Welcome back to Inspiring Big Leaders, and we were talking about leadership energy, about emotional integrity, values-based purpose, and many more. Rajiv, we all know the importance of sustaining your energy for a variety of reasons: continuity of your business plans or your strategies, energizing your team or your whole organization. So you yourself must have enough energy to energize other people. And this ties in, I think, with the leader's own emotional strength, because it is an emotional process. So and you mentioned a bit about emotional independence earlier on. Can you elaborate that one a bit more here?
So first of all, how do you sustain that energy? That is something that all three of you have alluded to. Again, I go back to the likes of Mandela. There were many, many times during the 27 years where he felt like giving up, where he says, no, I cannot go on. So how did he sustain himself? Simply by closing his eyes and imagining that the better future he has in mind, in his case, the Rainbow Nation, has already happened. He would close his eyes and visualize the better future and pretend that it's already been made. And that would energize him to get up once again to fight the fight. So again, whether you can sustain your energy or not has got nothing to do with your physical strength. It's got everything to do with your emotional strength. And that emotional strength is based on the purity and honesty of your values and a purpose larger than yourself based on those values. So that's the key in terms of sustaining that energy. If your purpose is not bigger than yourself, you will weigh things as risk or reward and say, it's not worth it, let me give up. But when your purpose is based on your values and when it is bigger than yourself, now you lose fear. Mahatma Gandhi used to say, when he was trying to fight the British, they may arrest me, they may torture my body, they may break my bones, even kill me, but then they will have my dead body, not my obedience. Wow. Now, why was such a frail little man so powerful and not scared? Because his purpose was bigger than himself. And his values, again, Mandela was inspired by Gandhi in terms of the values: nonviolence, humility, and truth. They were sacrosanct to him, no matter what the cost might be. So that is the essence of sustaining energy, how genuinely honest you are with yourself.
I'm enlightened by many words you use, and as much as I'm behind my mask struggling to understand a lot of things and trying to put it into perspective, one of the things that we see undergoing currently globally is what I call the moral evolution. Things are happening around us where I think in your articles you talk about people talking about CEOs talking about moving from seeing beyond profit, see beyond profit, profit to purpose. Now, are these cliches, or from your 30 years of experience, are these cliches, or are these really a real movement now, where in private sectors leaders are beginning to talk about a common good as well? So is common good the sustainer for leadership energy these days?
Yeah, so this brings me to my current role in Singapore. I lead a non-profit think tank called Stewardship Asia Center, in which we look at exactly the question that you're raising. Why is suddenly everybody talking about purpose over profit? Why is everybody suddenly talking about sustainability and ESG and greater good? So because the buzz has increased in the last 5 years alone, it seems to hint that this might be the flavor of the month or something like that, right? So is there some energy to this? Is there some truth to it? Or is it just flavor of the month or the year? Well, a few things here. The fact that the world is in peril is without doubt. If we continue to live and consume and behave the way we have behaved in the last few hundred years, we will mortgage and finish the future of our children and grandchildren even before it starts. Now, science and research has proven that that is to be true, right? That if we don't do anything about climate change and the havoc that it causes, we are actually ruining the future of our children. And even the current generation for the next 20 to 30 years is to pay the hefty price. So, other thing that has happened is we live in a society where everybody, excuse me for using this word, everybody today is almost naked. Whether you're a leader, whether you're an ordinary person, everything you do, everything you say is in full public view today. Then, third thing, ordinary people are more empowered than ever before because everybody has a supercomputer in their pocket these days. And today we can find information about who said, who did, whether a public leader or a corporate leader. Everything they say or do is in full public. So ordinary consumers are more powerful than ever before. The world is in a crisis. Therefore, whether it's governments, civil servants, or the corporate sector, everybody has to react and do something about it if we are going to save the planet and if we are going to save it.
The conversation around purpose is of interest to me. Now you just showed us the your handphone, and it kind of brings to mind what I call communal empowerment. Now, when you talk about leadership as harnessing the energy for a better future, almost individually by nature, how do you square off that conversation by saying, in a communal empowered society, isn't it everyone a leader versus an individual trying to create a better future? So let's take what happened in Malaysia recently through the floods. You know, the society comes together quickly, and there was no one individual that tries to think of a better future for everyone. It's a group of people. So how do you square that off in terms of what is leadership now?
So very good question. I was actually trying to stick true to the topic of today's conversation, which you said was leadership energy, but I'm glad you asked the question. We used to define leadership as the art of harnessing human energy towards the creation of a better future, right?
Yeah.
In my recent writings and the book that I'm writing now, which is called Making Sustainability Sustainable, we say that leadership is the genuine desire and persistence to create a collective better future. So this is the definition of steward leadership. They're saying today you don't just need leadership, you need steward leadership. Why? Because there is one lesson that COVID-19 has taught us, it is this. No one is safe until everyone is safe. Right? So the days of just making a better future for yourself, for your shareholder are over. Now you have to work towards creating success for yourself and your shareholder by creating a better future for a variety of stakeholders, including society at large, future generations, and the environment. So the definition of leadership has evolved from leadership to steward leadership, which, as I said, is the genuine desire and persistence to create a collective better future, not just any better future.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
this applies to government leaders as well. A lot of government leaders are saying we are all about common good, but not everybody is genuine on it. And they really need to look in the mirror. Am I saying all these things to win an election, or am I saying all these things because I have genuine desire and persistence to make my country or the world a better place?
Like you were saying, yeah, if we can see the flood case in Malaysia, for example, yeah, where the community are taking up the challenges on their own, yeah. But the challenge is also how ready are the public sector taking this up, yeah. This is a big challenge, as I said, yeah. And in fact, it's not just talking about managing the pandemic now, which we are able to manage it with what do you call that, and sustain it. But we are trying to move into a new post-COVID development region, bringing us into an advanced economy. We are looking at a global now, global challenges as well. To you.
And that is exactly what I mean by creating a collective better future. I have had the good fortune of living in Malaysia for many years, and I've always looked at the state of Sarawak as, if I may say so, a little ahead in terms of its ambition of creating that collective better future. Every time I travel to Sarawak, I used to feel a different kind of energy. And so, that is exactly what it is. You have to decide as a leader, how far do you want to go? Will you do enough to just look good? Will you do enough to just have a comfortable life? Or are you willing to take whatever it takes to make the world and the people that you serve better?
Yes. I think I agree with Datu Sabari. I think the pandemic has given us a chance to actually uncover a lot of the
Right.
loopholes that we sort of ignored before, or maybe some of our weaknesses that we never actually recognized before. And I think that's a great opportunity. Of course, there were also bad things happening, but there's also opportunities for us to improve. We're just going to go on a short break, and coming back, we're going to go deeper into emotional independence.